Rhea Ripley and Sikoa romance, the best and worst of Raw, Randy Orton done with WWE. Brock Lesnar steals The Undertaker's gimmick on WWE Raw. At SummerSlam, 38-year-old star will end Roman Reigns' streak, and more. Let's jump right into it. The best and worst of Raw. Welcome to this week's edition of the best and worst of Raw. It was the third last episode before Backlash 2023, and WWE did a decent job building some hype for the show. Sadly, most of the show was rather forgettable, including Trish Stratus' promo. Don't get us wrong, the in-ring bits were generally fantastic, but overall there wasn't much to remember. But that's where we come in, and we've highlighted the key parts of Raw this week and what the ups and downs of the show were this week. Number 3. Best. An interesting new angle for the Bloodline on Raw. The Bloodline opened the latest episode of Raw and were confronted by the Judgment Day. While it looked like the faction was going to challenge the Elite Samoan Trio, Paul Heyman revealed a rather interesting twist. Roman Reigns had ordered Heyman to form a temporary alliance between the Bloodline and the Judgment Day, resulting in a match between Sikoa and Rey Mysterio, while Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio faced Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Matt Riddle in the main event. While the enforcer of the Bloodline won, the Judgment Day didn't. Post-main event, which was average at best, there was a massive brawl that broke out involving the Usos, Sikoa, the Judgment Day, Rey Mysterio, and the LDO, as well as the trio of Owens, Zayn, and Riddle. This episode alone opened up multiple possibilities for the Bloodline, especially a new storyline against the Judgment Day, assuming that the latter will turn face at some point. Number 2. Worst. Bad use of Brock Lesnar's limited appearances. Cody Rhodes appeared on Raw this week to call out Brock Lesnar, who was in the arena. He wasn't dressed in a suit and was clear that he was ready for any possibility. It was Adam Pearce who refused to let anything happen, and when the Beast made his way out, he desperately made the Backlash match between them official to prevent things from escalating. This resulted in 20+ members of the WWE security team coming out to stop Cody, all of whom failed. Lesnar, who had a dark new appearance change with his gear, simply stood at ringside and hardly did anything at all, let alone say a word. There was no action involving him, and there was a completely unnecessary shot of him walking backstage. As far as we are concerned, it was a huge waste of an appearance for the WWE legend, and it would have been a better decision to simply have him sit out than to do what he did. Number 2. Best. Dakota Kai's impressive performance against Bianca Belair. Seeing as how Io Sky is the #1 contender to Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, it made sense that the latter faced Dakota Kai this week. We were a bit surprised by just how dominant Dakota Kai was and how she had an answer to everything that the EST of WWE pulled out. The storytelling in the brief time they had was fantastic, and although Belair was always going to win the match, Dakota Kai's stock has risen as a result of her performance. It was a great indicator of what she is capable of. Now all she needs to do is refine her character post-damage control, and she will be ready to be a women's champion. Number 1. Worst. No proper finish to Bobby Lashley was Austin Theory. Bobby Lashley faced Austin Theory in a rematch on Raw from late January, when the latter defeated the Almighty. This week, they had a decent match that came to an abrupt end via DQ thanks to the interference of Bronson Reed. From a storyline standpoint, it makes sense that Bronson Reed would interrupt, as his feud against Lashley was teased last week with their brawl. However, we are admittedly tired of seeing Lashley and Theory face off with no definitive conclusion in sight. WWE wanted to protect both Lashley and Theory so badly that they went with an unsatisfactory finish. As for Theory, what is even next for him? He is the United States champion and is supposed to be the next big star, but there seems to be nothing in place and no storyline. Since that underwhelming match against John Cena, he hasn't come off any better from it at all. Number 1. Best. Solid match between The Miz and Seth Rollins. The Miz and Seth Rollins put on the match of the night on Raw this week, with Bianca Belair versus Dakota Kai being a close second. While we admittedly groaned at the idea of The Miz vs. Rollins, the two men surprised everybody with an incredible match. The A-lister launched a pre-match attack and nearly defeated the Visionary before the latter took over and eventually got the win. Everything about this was done to perfection, and for us, this was the highlight of the entire show. Props to both The Miz and Seth Rollins for the incredible effort they put in. Randy Orton done with WWE. Randy Orton is closing in on the 1-year mark of his absence. The former Raw Tag Team Champion is recuperating at home after undergoing back surgery. He was written off television via a post-match assault by the Bloodline last year, moments after he dropped the Raw Tag Team title to the Usos. Reports on Randy Orton's return led to speculations about him appearing on the post-WrestleMania Raw. However, fans were left disappointed when a lone Matt Riddle made his way and attacked The Miz. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer did note that all indications point to the Viper's comeback, but there has been no solid evidence of it. In the wake of the absence and no concrete signs that he may be back, fans have started to wonder whether the Viper's contract will expire soon. However, that does not seem to be the case. Reports from Pew Insider in 2019 noted that the 14-time world champion had signed a 5-year deal with the promotion. This decision came amidst rumors of him joining All Elite Wrestling after being in WWE for nearly 2 decades. Randy Orton's WWE contract reportedly obligated him to be a part of 80 shows per year before his unfortunate injury. The Viper will seemingly be a part of the upcoming WWE draft, which is going to be held after Backlash. If the Raw mainstay gets drafted once again, fans can expect him to be back in action soon. Given that Matt Riddle is back to feuding with the Bloodline, Orton could naturally be added to the mix. The Arquebro could reunite to exact some revenge on the Usos or even turn heel to fight for the tag team title against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. There has been a mixture of positive and negative updates surrounding Orton. His return is a constantly developing story. Dave Meltzer previously noted how Riddle's return hinted at his partner's comeback. In an update, he mentioned that he is nowhere close to squaring up inside the ring. For several months, the WWE Universe that the Apex Predator would return to the ring to take on Roman Reigns for the undisputed world title. However, that did not come to fruition even though a potential feud was rumored to happen last year. It remains to be seen when Randy Orton will return to the ring and what is in store for the former world champion. Brock Lesnar steals The Undertaker's gimmick on WWE Raw. Brock Lesnar came out with a new look on the latest edition of Raw, and fans couldn't help but compare him to WWE legend The Undertaker. The Beast incarnate recently turned heel after attacking Cody Rhodes on the Raw after WrestleMania 39. He came out on Raw tonight and immediately caught fans' attention with his attire. Lesnar's clothing instantly reminded fans of WWE Hall of Famer The Undertaker. Brock Lesnar's dark attire resulted in fans having a field day on Twitter while comparing him to the Phenom. Lesnar's first encounter with the Deadman came way back in 2002, shortly after he won the undisputed WWE title from The Rock at SummerSlam. The two powerhouses feuded on SmackDown, with Lesnar destroying The Undertaker to retain his belt inside Hell in a Cell at No Mercy 2002. The two megastars went on to have several in-ring classics on WWE TV. Their most memorable encounter came at WrestleMania XXX in 2014. That night, Lesnar ended The Undertaker's legendary undefeated WrestleMania streak. Many fans deem it the most shocking moment in the company history. Last year, The Undertaker appeared on the True Geordie podcast and shared his thoughts on Lesnar. It was fun being in the ring, because Brock, especially his first time through. You look at him, and you think there's no way that any human being built like that, looks like that, can move like that. It was always fun to work with him, he said. Brock Lesnar is all set to face the American Nightmare in a singles match at Backlash 2023. The two men have never faced off before, and fans are quite excited to see how Cody Rhodes will fare against the Beast incarnate. What did you think of Lesnar's attire on tonight's Raw? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. At SummerSlam, 38-year-old star will end Roman Reigns' streak. The WWE Universe is convinced Cody Rhodes will be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns and end his dominant streak. The Tribal Chief has been WWE Universal Champion since August 30, 2020 after defeating The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Braun Strowman in a triple threat match. Reigns then conquered Brock Lesnar and added the WWE Championship to his collection at WrestleMania 38. Rhodes came close to ending Roman's reign at WrestleMania 39, but the numbers game was just too much to overcome. However, the WWE Universe believes that the American Nightmare is still the man to defeat the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. A fan replying to the question, who should end Roman's title reign, on Twitter believes that Rhodes will do it at SummerSlam, Cody, and I think it'll happen at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns is inching closer to 1,000 days as Universal Champion. Reigns won't be at Backlash in Puerto Rico, but is expected to defend his titles at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. Cody Rhodes, on the other hand, is likely to face Brock Lesnar at Backlash. Lesnar attacked Rhodes on Raw after WrestleMania 39, and the American Nightmare wants payback. While some fans are sick and tired of Roman Reigns as the WWE Undisputed Champion, a Hall of Famer wants the Tribal Chief to earn the 1,000-day milestone. Kevin Nash explained on his Click This podcast that Reigns reaching 1,000 days as champion is an important moment for WWE. That close to 1,000, you'd have to do it, Nash said. It'd be like Cal. Ripken had turf toe and would have just taken a day off. There's certain milestones, and right now he's too close to 1,000. You're only going to be as successful as your top guy, and Roman's the top guy right now. Roman has the cool factor. Roman's your money guy. Reigns will reach the milestone on May 27, which is coincidentally the date for Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. Reigns is expected to defend the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at the event. Who would you like to see dethrone the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns? Let us know by sharing your thoughts in the comments section. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline's next feud. The Bloodline has been up to much mischief on WWE Raw under Roman Reigns' absence. What started as a one-way program for the Usos to regain the undisputed tag team titles has branched into other rivalries, with Matt Riddle targeting Solo Sikoa after returning a few weeks ago. Tonight's Red Brand action also gave a teaser of the things to come for the Ones. Monday Night Raw began with a deal between the Bloodline and Judgment Day. The latter insisted on Solo Sikoa taking care of the Bad Bunny problem. In return, they would deal with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Matt Riddle in the main event of WWE Raw. The Enforcer agreed, but his first target was Rey Mysterio. Solo Sikoa defeated Mysterio in a classic powerhouse versus a high flyer on WWE Raw. The showdown SmackDown featured interference by the Usos, but they were met by the Latino World Order. Post-match, the Bloodline laid a brutal assault on each LDO member. They received similar treatment from Rey Mysterio's faction when the Usos and Solo Sikoa tried to ambush Owens, Zayn, and Riddle following the latter's victory over Judgment Day on the main event. The all-out brawl between the Bloodline and the Latino World Order teased how both stables can have an extended program after their current feuds end. Since their transition to LDO, Legado del Fantasma has connected well with the audience. Their babyface prestige will naturally pit them against the top heels in the WWE industry, but it remains to be seen when the company pulls the trigger on their feud. Could Backlash have a multi-superstar tag team showdown between each stable involved? Chances are less, although it would be surreal if Judgment Day and Bloodline team up to fight Latino World Order members paired with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Matt Riddle, and even a returning Bad Bunny. Roman Reigns is not scheduled to participate in the event, though. Roman Reigns hasn't been seen since the Mania follow-up episode of WWE Raw. Paul Heyman regularly relays orders from the tribal chief to the Bloodline. The storyline hints that the undisputed champion is frustrated with the Usos and will refuse to acknowledge them until they recapture the tag team titles. Solo Sikoa and the Usos have managed to rack up wins but have fueled multiple rivalries in the process. Roman Reigns may have a hectic job at hand when he returns. It will be interesting to see how he reacts once the Usos win/lose their upcoming undisputed tag team title clash against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Rhea Ripley and Solo Sikoa romance. Rhea Ripley has established herself as a major presence in WWE. Not only has she won the SmackDown Women's Championship, but she has also made a name for herself as one of the major stars in the company. Despite being a part of the Bloodline, Ripley has shown that she can stand alone when required. Still, her alliance with Dominic has been a critical part of her character heading into her current position on the roster. However, today's segment seemed to hint at the future and some possible upcoming changes. Paul Heyman announced a partnership between the Bloodline and the Judgment Day had been negotiated by Roman Reigns. While there's a partnership that does not equate to peace, a hostility between the two factions was clear for anyone to see. The two people who seemed to be the closest to coming to blows were Solo Sikoa and Rhea Ripley. The stare down between the two stars didn't go unnoticed by fans either, all noting what it could mean in the long run. However, the chemistry between the two might also lead to a future segment. Rhea Ripley and Solo Sikoa could easily get romantically involved on-screen if the company follows this line of thinking, which could lead to the biggest challenge of Dominic's life. Ripley and Dominic have been quite the duo, but rare is the WWE romance that is not troubled by a third party. It happened with Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, and even Rusev and Lana. The storyline might not be any different if the silent yet brutal Solo Sikoa and Rhea Ripley suddenly kick off a romantic relationship. This would leave Dominic Mysterio in the lurch as he would feel completely robbed. The ensuing storyline between Sikoa, Ripley, and Dominic would be one that every fan would follow. No matter what happened, it is guaranteed to be one of the most interesting angles in WWE. Now it remains to be seen if WWE books it, and if they do, how soon they decide to go with it. What do you think of Ripley and Solo Sikoa being put in a romantic relationship? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me